in the meantime, you play a song or something?
Yeah, I play like one song, but it's 4 minutes.
All right, we got a couple of minutes to
All
build
right.
up.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put millions of my actions. Yes, you said. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. Payback is a dog. Look, ain't no remorse in my bloodstream. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. There was design five for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums. Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
All right, what you up with that? Let me get a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. And then just every once in a while, come on over to the clubhouse just to make sure nobody has any questions or hasn't raised their hand. All right, on club deck. So you'll see it on the bottom. So you could just go back and forth between those tabs there, all right?
Come.
Click it. All right. Boom, boom, boom. If y'all got any questions, so the chat's gonna be here. All right, so we're clear on Clubhouse. So y'all could type your questions in. We'll take some after class unless y'all have them on topic, all right? So the topic for this evening, you understand, is talking about sellouts inside the community and how they're a detriment, you understand? And this is anti-brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? What I want to do is let's go to First Maccabees chapter 1. Start at First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 1.
Come.
All right, so we're good to go on YouTube. We're good to go on Clubhouse. Let me know when y'all got it, all right? Can we get him a microphone? And then y'all two can take turns reading, all right?
Come. First Maccabees 1:1, sir.
Come. So two things. One, he needs a microphone, and then the microphone that's on the floor is for you. So you could put that up there with you after you give him that one. He could start reading first. They're up here?
Come. 4. Yeah, the second.
I would have got it for you.
Oh.
No sweat.
Let me just turn this.
Perfect. All right. So if you could.
First Maccabees 1 and verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
So here's something else, right? First thing I want all y'all to know is that the Bible is history. You understand? Like post-Assyrian Empire is really where like the timelines start to get accurate and where we have probably like the vast majority of our archaeology. You know what I'm saying? So you can go all throughout history and you could see more than enough exists. People try to say things all the time like Israel never existed. Well, then why was there interaction between us and other cultures? You know what I'm saying? What we're about to read about is the start of the Hasmonean dynasty in history. And that was when Israelites, known as it was the Maccabean revolt. That's why we're reading about the book of Maccabees, because this was Mattathias and then his sons, Judas Maccabee and his brethren, who went on to fight against the Greeks as we were inside of their captivity. So Philip, you understand, the Macedonian comes out of the land, you understand, and then eventually Philip's son was Alexander. You know what I'm saying? Alexander the Greek. And then eventually his empire was split and broken up. And you had one of his, each one of his 4 generals, top generals, split up his empire. So Ptolemy took Egypt, you know what I'm saying? Another one took Italy. Another one took Greece. Another one took the entire Middle East, Antioch, all of that. That was known as the Seleucids, all right? And what they did was they created a Hellenizing period. That's why y'all ever see like when Christians talk about to the Jew first, then the Greek. You understand? Who's the Jew?
The Israelite in the land.
You understand? The southern kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Primarily. So who would be the Greek?
The scattered that take on the customs of the Greeks.
You understand? Those that were still Hellenized. So what you're reading about is this takes place during this time period. So this is roughly, you know, let's say maybe 70 years, give or take, but before Christ gets on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere from 70, 50, 40 years, something like that. All right. Meaning like by the time the book of Maccabees ends, not in totality. All right. So let's continue reading.
Verse 2, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
You understand? And that's what happened. They go, they take over, like the Greeks go and conquer everything. And this was a part of Daniel's vision. When you watch Daniel's vision, you understand, you see first you have the lion with the wings, which is called a griffin. loses his wings. You know what I'm saying? Then from there, you see a bear rise up. You know what I'm saying? That's the Medo-Persians. After the bear, it's the leopard. This is during that time period where the leopard, or Alexander and the Macedonians and the Greek Empire, first starts to rise up. Read on.
Verse 5. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
So that's what I was talking about before. So Alexander the Greek dies, and then he parts his kingdom amongst 4 of his generals. And then once again, that was Ptolemy. Well, it's really Ptolemy. You know what I'm saying? The P is silent, but it's Ptolemy over there in Egypt. Now, the difference between him and the Seleucids was he went over there and became Pharaoh. He adopted Egyptian culture, took the titles on. The Seleucids believed in Hellenizing and making the entire world subject to how they wanted their culture to be. Read on.
Verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
You understand? Meaning his will was he wanted his empire to stay together. They decided to split it up into 4s and divide his empire. Good.
So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
You understand? And every single one of their children was more wicked than the last, and then they just tilt everything. You know what I'm saying? Because the difference is, Alexander the Greek never touched Jerusalem. You understand? But the descendants of these bastards, you understand, they turned around and they wanted to touch the children of Israel. Good.
Verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been in hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Now, that's the first thing that you have to understand. You understand? What type of men were these?
Wicked men.
Yeah, so make sure you put the mic to, a little bit closer so it'll pick up the frequency range, all right? But outside of that, right? These are wicked men who go and make a covenant with the heathen. You understand? These are not righteous men. And that's what you have to do. The first thing you have to do is you want to know if somebody's a man of God. Is he trying to join you onto all nations? You understand? These are sellouts who become a detriment. You go and you look at every single culture that's thriving around the world, right? Or even inside of America. East Indians can't have Bollywood by letting everybody in. You understand? Asians can't have Chinatown in every single metropolitan area by letting everybody in. What they have to do is they have to practice segregation. They have to practice nepotism. If y'all don't know what nepotism is, you understand, my son and your son, you understand, your son wants to come work at my company. My son wants to work at your company. Because I know you and you know me, we're going to hire each other's children and put them in higher seats than everybody else before anyone else. You understand? And that's what every single other race or nation of people does. You don't go over to Chinatown and then see Mexicans cooking in the kitchen. Mexicans are cooking the French food. They're cooking the Italian food. You understand? They cooking all the food around the world. You understand? The Albanians are running the pizzeria, and Mexicans are cooking all the food, all the pasta, all the Alfredo. You understand? Which is the tribe of Isupk. They cooking everything. Not in Chinatown, though, because they go and they stick together, and that's how they become powerful. You understand? And another thing which is so important about this lesson is they control their public image. And they know better. You know what happens when you go and you try to make a pact with the heathen, or you try to bring them into their culture? Everybody loves Bruce Lee, right? But why in America? America loves Bruce Lee for the same reason they love MLK. Bruce Lee is a traitor. Bruce Lee was a traitor because he went and took, ancient, Shaolin, Wing Chun, passed down from generation to generation secrets of Wing Chun and taught it to the round eye in the West. So as a result, that's why when you watch that movie, Enter the Dragon, that's why they crack his spine. You understand? That's why they try to kill him. Because the problem was, and the beef was, that you are not supposed to be bringing this over to them. And instead, he profited and commercialized this, you understand, by giving away his people's secrets. That's a traitor. And what we're reading about is wicked men who were traitors to Israel. Go ahead.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
And that's what they'll try to do. They'll try to act as if, well, once we come away from them, we got so much sorrow. They did the same thing with the Negro League. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know, look, we're not making as much money here. We got to get in the MLB. We need equality. And all it took was one trader to go and cross that color line. One trader crosses that color line, and then what happens? What happened to the entire Negro League? From America to Cuba to Puerto Rico, because the Negro League was blacks and Latinos. You understand? Go look it up. Go see the jerseys. You're going to see Cuba. You're going to see Puerto Rico. You go down to New Orleans. You're going to see the Pelicans. Like, it was all of us together in our own league. One man came through and destroyed all that because he wanted to go and make a deal with the heathens. Read on.
Verse 12. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
You understand? So now they turning around, they making deals. These folks are going to get rich. We're going to remain poor, and they're going to sell us out to the heathens and make us more like them. Read on.
Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem.
They built a place of what?
Exercise.
You understand? Now, when they build a place of exercise, not only is this physical exercise, you understand, but this is also, you understand, universities. This is also them conditioning us to become like them, and they do it all throughout history. How many of y'all ever heard of kill the Indian, save the man? You understand? They created boarding schools in which they took the children of Gad, the North American Indians, sent them over to boarding schools, cut their hair. That's killing the Indian. You kill the Indian, you civilize him, and now you save the man. Remove their ancestral tongue, which was Hebrew. You understand? Taught them English. And then now, in the same way that Israel here is being colonized, they Americanized the Gadites. In the same way we all became Americanized inside of America. And now it's the same thing when it comes down to sports. They want us entertained. And you know what else they want us to do? They want us, instead of, okay, y'all remember the protest with George Floyd? Why did that last so long? Anybody want to give me a guess? Chaataza?
Because
Talking to the mic.
Salakia, sir, if I may, because it was on tape and it was so graphic.
Well, I mean, Mike Brown, when he died, no, he wasn't on tape, but Eric Garner was on tape. There wasn't a 2-month long riot.
Oh, God.
That was on tape, right?
Gone.
Trayvon Martin was on tape. Sandra Bland was on tape. Corinne Gaines went live. You know what I'm saying? And then they still went in the crib and murdered her. So it wasn't because it was on tape.
Oh,
like, why did George Floyd make such an impact? You want to give it a guess?
Not sure.
No sweat. It's an honest answer. The reason as to why is because America was shut down. Sports was shut down. Basketball was shut down. All the places of exercise were shut down. The YMCA, the parks. Nobody wanted to be around each other. Really couldn't go outside. You know what I'm saying? Happened what? In the middle of March? That's the winter. It's already cold. You know what I'm saying? I think everything shut down in New York. By March 26th, everything was shut down. So now you go and you take a look at George Floyd. The weather's a little bit warmer. People have been cooped up in the house a couple of months. Everybody, was making more money on unemployment than they were, you understand, actually going to the job. Was cooped up in the crib. They had no distractions. There was no other way to work out our frustration. So now we were not distracted. We were all paid. We all had free time on our hands so we could go revolt. So when these bastards go and make a deal with the heathens, they do it to distract us. They do it to keep us busy. You know why they push basketball on you? Because they don't want you to look at your condition and then take the frustration out. They want you to just be distracted and be so worn out from doing suicides and every one of these other drills that you don't even have time to worry about anybody else. You're trying to make it to the NBA. Only 1% makes it in. You understand? I don't got time to worry about you or what the next man's going on. I need an NBA contract. You understand? That's the key to selling us out. And guess who else made a deal with the heathen and sold us out? Jay-Z. Colin Kaepernick doesn't have a job. Guess who has a job, though? Jay-Z has a job. And Jay-Z is able to get his people jobs. Guess who he got a job? He got Rihanna a job. Y'all remember a couple of years back, Rihanna wouldn't perform for the Super Bowl for Kaepernick. Why? What made Rihanna perform at the Super Bowl? Jay-Z. The man who made a deal with the heathen at the place of exercise. You understand? The year before that, guess who else made a deal with the heathen? Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige, Dr. Dre, all these cats. Why? Yeah, Eminem. Eminem took a knee. Did he get fired? He get canceled? No. Eminem taking a knee was disgraceful. Our people take it as a token. You understand? Because Kaepernick did the same thing and everybody hates him for it. Eminem gets saluted and cheered on. But now you take a look at everybody else. What did they do? They're trying to drive back up the distraction, drive back up the place of exercise. Because if we're going to exercise, if we're going to be focused on achieving in their society, we have no time to build our own. Those are traitors, and those traitors are a detriment to our success and growth as a nation. Read on.
Verse 15. And they made themselves uncircumcised.
And they made themselves what?
Uncircumcised.
And this starts to let you know that circumcision in our culture is not just physical circumcision. Circumcision is one, if you weren't circumcised, you weren't a part of the covenant. So it's slang for us. Like, you're not one of us. You're not in this. You understand? Like, everybody loved them damn mob movies talking about this thing of ours. Well, this thing of ours, this covenant, you understand, that belongs to us and not mass murderers of organized crimes, but belongs to a righteous nation. You understand? Circumcision was a part of it. But there was also the circumcision of your heart, that is your mind. You understand? We become uncircumcised. You could be physically circumcised, but we become uncircumcised when you eat pork. Become uncircumcised when you start to worship idols. The Christmas tree is an idol. You understand? You can't tell a woman not to celebrate her birthday. You understand? Like, you want to make yourself an idol on that day. You understand? Like, why is the Christmas tree an idol? Where does everybody bring the gifts to? Why do you put the gift under the tree? You're paying tribute, Terry, to your God. Right. You're bringing an offering to the idol. Well, on your birthday, you're the idol. So guess what everybody else does? Bring tributary to their idol. You understand? And then the cake and all that. You blow out the candles, smoke goes up. Why do you make a wish when you blow out the candles? Because that smoke is carrying your wish up to the pantheon of gods who's supposed to bless you, because today is your day. We become uncircumcised when we follow these customs and these and all the culture of all of the heathen that's around us. Read on.
Salakia. And forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief.
You understand? And we get sold to do mischief. We get sold to do mischief today. Who sells us to do mischief? Who wants to give me another example of a place where we get sold to do mischief? Go ahead.
Our leaders, our so-called leaders.
Give me something specific.
You talking about names like let's say like Jesse Jackson, Let me see, Martin Luther King. Malcolm.
Now they all do it how? They go and join us onto the heathens, but how else do they sell us to do mischief? How about the record labels? Nobody ever protests them. When meanwhile, you got that dude right on the Breakfast Club saying, I got to eat though. I know I'm producing smut, but I got to feed my kids. So he gets to destroy a generation of us and push the lean and the drug culture. And I mean, every song on the radio is about stealing, is about adultery. It's about taking a woman that you understand belongs to another man. You know what I'm saying? Like what Chris Brown say, when a rich nigga wants you, these hoes ain't loyal. You know what I'm saying? Every single song, but you couldn't tell that adultery is wrong by putting on the radio, by turning on the TV. You can't tell that, you understand, murdering is wrong by throwing on a video game. Drill music is a thing right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what blows my mind. Everybody is so hurt and everybody is so, you understand, messed up when it comes down to what happened with Pop Smoke. But what happened to Pop Smoke? You know what I'm saying? And listen, every black life is a loss. You know what I'm saying? And even from a hip hop perspective, it was a loss to lose Pop Smoke. You know what I'm saying? He had a masculine vibe to him. You know what I'm saying? Ill cadence. You know what I'm saying? However, what was his music about? Send me the Addy, I'm hunting him down. Well, his address got exposed. They sent the Addy, they hunted him down. According to his music, aren't y'all supposed to be celebrating? Nah, but you know something's wrong, because murder shouldn't only matter if it affects someone we care about. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to start looking and thinking and looking and perceiving each other as a monolith, so that when we see every black, Latino, and Native Indian, we see our family. We see our brother. We see our sister. When we turn around and now we're able to do that, now we can start to have compassion. And then now we don't have to make drill music about murdering each other. But instead, we want the record deal. We want to get out the hood. We want to forget about everybody else that we know because my mom needs a house. But it don't matter about yours. I could destroy your entire neighborhood so long as we get out. And this is all selling out. This is all traitors. This is why we don't come together collectively. Because every single other nation, let me ask you something. Have y'all ever seen Jackie Chan play a villain? Never. No. Jackie Chan always plays a hero. Why? It's taboo to play a villain for the West, for the round eye, and pollute the reputation and image of other Asians. That's why Jet Li isn't loved back home, because Jet Li's always playing a gangster. You know what I'm saying? Jet Li's always playing a bad guy, always playing a villain. Jackie Chan would never play a villain. There's certain movies that they won't play in China at all. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, there was this one movie, one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. They cut out like 15 minutes of this one scene with this Asian because they did not like how he was stereotypically portrayed. And when you watch the movie in China, the whole movie didn't make sense because of all the scenes they cut out with him. Because they care about their public image and will not just sell and trade their people in that capacity. Read on.
Verse 17. Slack at verse 16. Now, when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of 2 realms. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death.
And now, once again, this was his brother. You understand? They used to be one empire, but they make war with each other because that's all he knows. Go ahead.
Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. And after that Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude.
You understand? So now they go back to Israel and Jerusalem. Good.
and entered proudly into the sanctuary. And
They what?
entered proudly into the sanctuary.
Now they come into our sanctuaries. Now they come into our temple. Now they come into, you understand, Jerusalem. And now they start robbing, raiding, pillaging, and plundering our, you understand, homeland, our capital. Go ahead.
And took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof, and the table of the showbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and the veil and the crown and the golden ornaments that were before the temple.
And this is not the first time that this happened. You can actually go to Rome and see the carvings of when Titus did this as well, and the Romans leaving with the menorah from the temple. Read on.
All which he pulled off. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly.
You understand? They murder us and they are extremely proud of it. And this is something else. You got to realize this is why it's so hard for us to get back to our culture, because these other nations have robbed all of it. They've almost erased us. If not for the Lord's mercy and really, if not for, you understand, the heathen not understanding Paul's writings, we might not even have our records to this day. Like when you open up the New Testament, right? If you don't understand it, you think God loves everybody. If you do understand it, you realize this is a specific message only written for us. The heathen in their vanity picked this book up and thought it belonged to them. And that's why it made it throughout all the centuries, because now they believe salvation is for them. Could you imagine if they realized it wasn't? We might not have our records. You understand? And matter of fact, you're going to read about how they destroyed our records, how they burned our records. You know what I'm saying? You're going to turn around and you're going to read about how not only did they destroy and burn our records, you know what I'm saying, but they made it unlawful, you understand, for us to even have them. If you were found with a book of the law, you were put to death. You understand? That's like during slavery when they would burn your eyes out if you were reading the Bible. You were only allowed to read the slave Bible. Why? Because the slave Bible took out all of the passages that talked about fighting rebellion. You understand? And that's what the book of Maccabees is. The book of Maccabees is a rebellion against heathen rulership. Read on.
Verse 25. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned. The virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion.
You understand? And this is what happens when you let them in. They destroy us. Our land is covered with confusion. Our women can't be protected. We are absolutely destroyed as a people. Read on.
And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them. But all was deceit.
Say that again.
And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit.
That's what you got to know. That's why when we pull these scriptures and we talk about how his words were smoother than oil, you understand that this is what we're talking about. They speak deceit onto us. That's what they do every election year. Y'all be worried about voting. They be lying to you. They be lying to you and then doing experiments at John Hopkins. You understand? Coming up with different ways to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? You look at everybody watching. I might do a whole class on snowfall one week. You understand? We might have to break down that entire Reagan administration, all the drugs that they brought in, the White House being a trap house, Nancy Reagan being a trap queen, and really break down everything that happened with Freeway Rick Ross and that depiction that they did with Franklin on Snowfall. You know what I'm saying? Just for you to see that, how could you turn around and say, just say no, and your husband is the #1 drug dealer on the earth because they speak all of these kind words to you. Peaceable. We're here to help. But it's all deceit. Read on.
For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel.
Is this not what Christopher Columbus did with the natives? Said they were the most peaceable people ever, and then murders them, enslaves them, so on and so forth. You start to see this repeated all throughout history. Good.
Verse 31, and when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side.
Good.
But the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle.
You understand? They take everything that's important to us, our women, our children, our assets. Go ahead.
Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall and with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and victuals. And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare.
You understand? And this is literally what they've done with us today. You understand? Like, you can literally see mirror images to how we live today all throughout the scriptures. Read on.
For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her.
You understand? To a point where that's gentrification right there. That's Seneca Village. That's Paradise Valley, Detroit. You understand? That's every single city inside of America that was prominently known and black ran and operated that they destroyed. And then what happens? We integrate out of fear. That's why Central Park is here now. Central Park was Seneca Village. Everybody only knows about, you understand, Black Wall Street. They don't know about half the towns that's rivers now in Atlanta or lakes. You understand? Because they drowned us out. Good.
Or the interstates that cut through.
The interstate. That's what happened with Paradise Valley, Detroit. They built an entire freeway directly through it. You know what I'm saying? It was an entire prominent area of all black businesses sold out. But what you're saying is 100% true. They did that all over. Read on.
Verse 39. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning.
Her what?
Her feasts were turned into mourning.
Listen, and that's exactly what happens to us, man. Like even think about how hard it was to get to the Passover this year. I don't know about y'all. This was the hardest Passover it ever was for me to get to. It seemed impossible. Last year it seemed impossible. Year before that seemed impossible. Every year it's seeming harder and harder and harder. Why? Because of the oppression. You understand? Because of the amount of oppression, it almost turns a feast into like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? What Malakwat had me dying laughing. He put a a post up on Facebook where he was like, after Passover, everybody, and it was like in my Yaradan voice, I'm in a hell of a hole. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, brother, I know that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep reading.
Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased.
And what you got to realize is this is the nation we're rebuilding. You understand? This is the state that we're in, and this is what we're trying to restore. Go ahead.
And her excellency was turned into mourning. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
You understand? And isn't that what they try to do here?
Right.
You understand? They try to give you the illusion like we're all one blood. You understand? Israel's one blood, and that one blood is separate from every other drop of blood. They try to control everything by making it one and by Hellenizing it and giving everybody the same philosophy. And that's what they do. They sell us delusions. They sell us delusions, lies, and deceit. You understand? Of equality and equity inside of America, as if this is the land of equal opportunity, and it is not. This is the land of slavery, bloodshed, and oppression. Read on.
Verse 42, and everyone should leave his laws So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
So everyone should leave his what?
Laws.
You understand? So now everybody leaving their laws is everybody leaving their ways of life. They didn't only do this to Israel in the sense of converting us. You understand? Like in the sense of that they were Hellenizing everyone that they conquered, because he makes war with everyone. But we're focused on us and our people. But the point is, the heathen are just ready to give it up, because heathen culture is nothing. You understand? Heathen culture is rock worship. You know, you go some places that they eat tarantulas. There's one culture somewhere, like I think off the coast of Tibet or one of those countries. Every so often they dig up one of their quote unquote ancestors, pull them out the grave, and then throw a party with them. You know what I'm saying? And then put them back in the grave. This is what they do. Read on.
Verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath.
And this is what happens to us. You understand? We start going against what Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob laid down. We go against our, now when it says religion, you understand that's the law, statutes, and commandments. That's our way of life. That's just the translation that they put in there. You understand? You understand? So now when you start to see this, right, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, we start following these customs from these other nations. And before you know it, we become filthy and unrecognizable. Read on.
Verse 44. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Good.
And forbid burnt offerings.
They what?
And forbid burnt offerings.
They forbid us to know who we are. Guess, no, you know what? Finish that verse and then I'll go there.
And sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
You understand? And this is why there's so much controversy over Ye and over what's my other man's name? Kyrie Irving. You understand? It's never a problem for you to profane the Lord, for you to be an idol worshiper. You understand? So on and so forth. The problem comes in when you profess yourself to be a Jew, when you want to give the Lord his sacrifices. You understand? This is when they want to go make a public example out of you. You want to see a spiritual version of this? Go look at what they tried doing to Ye. Go look at how, you understand, they kicked him out of commerce with J.P. Morgan. You understand? Go look at how Adidas tried to shut him down. Go look at how they tried to cancel him. Go look at what they did with Kyrie, that Kyrie ain't with Brooklyn no more. You understand? Go look at how they suspended him. Go look at how they try to drag him in the media, lie on him. Why? He wanted his Sabbaths back. You understand? He wanted his sacrifices back to the Lord. Now, when I say sacrifices, of course, the sacrifices of the Lord today are a broken and contrite spirit. Yahweh Shah is the sacrifice. So I'm speaking of it metaphorically, and we have to give the Lord the sacrifices or the dues, you understand, that he requires of us. You understand? Read on.
Verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
You understand? Every you understand, just all around blasphemy. You understand? That's what they do. They promote lust. They promote filth. You understand? And they teach us to just live and be just like the other heathens. Read on.
That they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Now, this is physical circumcision we're talking about here, that the children, you understand, won't be circumcised and be a part of the covenant. Read on.
To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
You understand? Meaning you cannot keep the law, you will be put to death. This is what they did. You understand? Read on.
In the self same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city.
Good.
Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land.
And that's what happens, man. Like when you take a look at how we live inside of America, America is lawless. When I mean lawless, I mean it's void of the laws of God. And this is why there's so much pain and suffering. You understand? This is why the ghetto is in the condition that it's in. This is why all of us have buried friends, got you understand, brothers and sisters doing football numbers, you understand, so on and so forth. Why? Because this land is a wilderness. It is without law. It is without order. Read on.
Verse 53, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor. Now the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side.
And this is why you understand Hanukkah is the feast of dedication, because this is what they did inside the Lord's house. So as a result, when the Maccabean revolt started, they came in and had to rededicate the temple back onto the Most High. Now today, you understand, like your body is the vessel that houses the spirit of the living God. We have to rededicate ourselves. You understand? We have to make sure that we turn around and dedicate our lives back to the Lord, because that's the only way that this pain, this suffering, that it starts to end. Scripture says the truth shall set you free. Read on.
Verse 55, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. You
understand? This is what they do. They destroy our records. Like everybody always talks about the Dead Sea Scrolls. Where was the Dead Sea Scrolls found?
It's like in caves.
In caves. Why were they in caves?
Because they had to be hidden.
Why'd they have to be hidden? Because they'll burn them. They'll destroy them. You understand? Like what we have is we're just piecing back together our nation. You understand? That was utterly destroyed, which is remnant. Like, and here's what's crazy. Command Johnny don't have the scrolls. Some devil has them. You understand? Think about how much stuff is actually in the vaults of the Vatican right now. You know what I'm saying? Think about where that menorah really is. How they're still sitting on the treasures from the temple. Good.
Oh, Salakia, sir, if I may, actually the United States have a protocol in case something happened here. The first thing that they grab is the United States Constitution, so they could bring it someplace so it don't get burned.
You understand? To protect what their Constitution is. They came in and stole our Constitution. They burned it. You understand? And the remnant of it that we had, we stashed in caves. Read on.
Verse 57, and whosoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
You understand? And that's exactly what they would do. They would put us to death if we were found with our laws. They would put us to death if we were found with any record of our culture or keeping it. All right. Let's drop that. So now we've set the scene. And how did all this start?
With us selling ourselves.
With sellouts. Mm-hmm. You understand? This started with sellouts who made compact deals and covenants with the heathen. Let's go to chapter 2, and let's start at verse 1.
First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 1. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Joarib, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons, Johanan called Caddis, Simon called Thasi, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar called Avaran, and Jonathan, whose surname was Aphas. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, woe is me! Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers.
You understand? So now we're setting the scene to find out who this brother is, that this brother is known in Israel. He's strong and blessed with an abundance of sons, and he is a zealot for the Lord. Read on.
Verse 8, her temple is become as a man without glory. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
You understand? This don't sound like the hood right now.
Come.
This don't sound like the abortion rate. Mothers who lose their mind, throwing babies out the window in the Bronx. Good.
Salaki, so just about a couple days ago, a couple brothers started shooting in the crowd of people on a block that we was going to do a food drive on yesterday.
There was a brother that got killed while he was holding his daughter in the Bronx. You understand? It don't matter. This is we get slain by our enemies here. Why? Because the entire land is falling into wickedness. Why? Because the heathen rule it. Because they oppress us. You understand? And the wicked men amongst our people that are in charge, they sell us out. Read on.
Verse 10, what nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman she has become a bond slave. And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory, is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it.
You understand? They have profaned it. They have destroyed it. All the idols that are sacrificed in the temple, all the land, you understand, being profaned and destroyed and abominable is all on them. This is what they do. Read on.
To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? Then Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourned very sore. In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city Modin to make them sacrifice.
Good.
And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias on this wise, thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren.
So now, this is the heathens coming to Mattathias. And they starting to see that the people look to him. He's a ruler. You understand? Brother got some clout, got some strength about him, got some mighty sons. What do you think they're going to try to get him to do?
Sell out.
Sell out. You understand? They're going to try to get him to sell out. Because him being in that position, if he goes and follows the heathens, what would that influence everybody else to do? You understand? They will go and follow after him. And this is why it's so important that if you're an entertainer, whether you like it or not, you understand, by default, you are a role model. And if you are a role model, you have a responsibility to the people who follow you, and more importantly, your people who follow you. Read on.
Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem. So shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards.
Yeah, many rewards. You understand? Like brothers and sisters will sell their ass for a Grammy. You understand? Whatever it takes. You take a look at that little Nas X. I don't think he's a part of the Rainbow Coalition. You know what I'm saying? Like his behavior is horrendous, but I don't think he's really, you understand, a sodomite. You know what I'm saying? I think that he's just doing that for a bag.
Salaki, sir. Everyone did it in the past when they had when he was known as studio gangsters and stuff like that. So when the gangsters thing was really big, there was a lot of people acting like that they was gangsters.
You understand? For riches and for rewards. Okay. And that's what they came and tried to tempt Mattathias with. Tried to get him to sell out. Good?
Verse 19.
Now does Mattathias turn around and say, I got to feed my kids. My family got to eat, so all y'all kids got to die. Read on.
Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments.
You understand? They all forgot about their fathers. They all forgot, you understand, about their heritage, about their culture, about where they come from, their morals, their principles, their constitution. Read on.
Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
The what?
The covenant of our fathers.
You understand? They're going to make sure that him and their sons walk in the covenant of our fathers. You understand? Family affair. What belongs to us? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Read on.
Verse 21. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
You understand? God forbid that we should forsake it. Read on.
We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left.
You understand? We're not going to veer off this course. We're going to stay right on the straight and narrow. Go ahead.
Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Modan, according to the king's commandment.
You understand? According to the king's commandment is they sacrifice abominations on the altar. Go ahead.
Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
You understand? He deaded him before he could even do it. Excuse me, Slakia. He unalived him. Go ahead.
Also, the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time. And the altar he pulled down.
You understand? He pulled the whole altar down and then unalived the cat. You understand? Who gave the order? Good.
Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phinehas did unto Zambri, the son of Salome.
Good.
And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Let him what?
Follow me.
Let him what?
Follow me.
A man? You mean to tell me that this book is about following a man? That's what we're reading? I can't stand when I hear some fake Israelites say, you follow men. That's like anti-brotherhood. If there was an Israelite zealous of following this man who was a leader in Israel, you wouldn't read about the Maccabees. You wouldn't have any of this going on. And they would not have come together to fight. You understand? But the Lord appointed this man. He turned around. He said, follow the Lord.
Follow me.
Why are we following him?
Because he's following the Lord.
Because he's following the Lord. That's how this thing works. This thing works is that there is a man who cries out in the street. You understand? Anybody who wants to serve the Lord, you follow me. That's what Commander Johnny did. Understand? Commander Johnny said, anybody who is zealous of the law and wants to serve the Lord, follow me. Read on.
Verse 28. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there.
Good.
Both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increased sore upon them.
You understand? They just turn up the oppression. Good.
Now, when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were gone down into the secret places in the wilderness, they pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day.
You understand? They made war against them on the Sabbath. And now this is something else that y'all got to know too, right? You understand? Y'all are about to see the difference between men of God and then people who just are over righteous. Read on.
And they said unto them, let that which ye have done hitherto suffice. Come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live.
Good.
But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day.
Good.
So then they gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay hid, but said, let us die all in our innocency. Heaven and earth will testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully.
Good.
So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and children and their cattle, to the number of 1,000 people.
You understand? They went and slaughtered 1,000 Israelites, and they thought they were doing something righteous by not fighting on the Sabbath. Let me ask you something. Anybody know their names? Oh, no? Read on.
Now, when Mattathias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned for them right sore.
Now, when who?
Mattathias and his friends.
Now, let me tell you something. We're supposed to mourn for our brothers and sisters. You understand? And I mourn for every single one of my brothers and sisters that are not out here fighting with us on the Sabbath day. You understand? I mourn for every single one of my brothers and sisters that are not wise enough to follow a true man of the Lord, but instead are caught up in their pride, their vain deceits, or some kind of stumbling block and barrier that they just can't fight through to make it home. Read on.
And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him.
You understand? And that just goes to show you, man, like there's just certain Israelites, they do not understand the Sabbath. You understand? Mattathias understood on the Sabbath he was Lord. You understand that the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. You can't serve rest. And as a result, we're reading about them and we know their names today. They were not trying to be over righteous, overzealous. You understand? What they were trying to do is they knew we had to fight. We have to live. We have to be a vessel so this way we can serve our power. Because if they kill us, what are we serving? Nothing. We're dead. You understand? Read on.
At that time, therefore they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die all as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the law.
You understand? And this is what they realized. They realized they need to join forces so that this way they can survive and that this way they can fight against the heathen. Read on.
Also, all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them and were a stay unto them. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger and wicked men in their wrath. But the rest fled to the heathen for succor.
Good.
Then Mattathias and his friends went round about and pulled down the altars.
You understand? They destroyed every altar that they were turning around and sacrificing onto other gods. They turned around and said, we're going to actually serve the Lord, man. Read on.
And what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, those they circumcised valiantly. They pursued also after the proud men, and the work prospered in their hand. So they recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles.
What'd they do?
They recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles.
And that's what we got to do, man. We got to take our culture back. Right. I don't care how much they want to turn around and protest when we have the Passover. We went down to the Passover in Raleigh. We took our law out the hands of the Gentiles. You understand? Read on.
And out of the hand of kings, neither suffered they the sinner to triumph. Now, when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now hath pride and rebuke gotten strength, and the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation.
You understand? So this brother knows that he's about to pass. And now what he's about to do is he's about to assess his sons. And he's about to let them know what their strengths are and how they should move, you understand, going forward. You understand? And that's what a father does. You understand? And that's what we have in here. The Isupk raises men. The Isupk has fathers. You understand? And these brothers are going to turn around and they're going to let you know what your strength is. And like that, we're going to move as a body. Every brother got a part to play. You understand? Every sister has a part to play. You understand? And the person who's in charge of your soul, the person who has been guiding you this time, he's going to guide you to let you know what it is that you can be beneficial to yourself and this nation. Read on.
Now, therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness?
So that what you're going to do is he's going to run down, you understand, a list of all these patriarchs, and you ain't never see Abraham join the heathen. You understand? You ain't never see him compromise, you understand, for another nation in order to serve them. You understand? Instead, you're going to see, you understand, the strengths that they did. And what he's doing is he's letting them know, you understand, I'm leaving you for now. You understand? But you have to find solace in this. That's what we do. We read these records and we see what was written aforetime was written for all learning. You understand? And we apply these things practically to our lives and how we live. That's why this is a school of universal and practical knowledge. The things that you learn inside of here, you'll be able to take and apply anywhere in your life, and you'll be able to succeed. Read on.
Verse 53. Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt.
You understand? Joseph in the time of his distress, meaning, well, like, how was Joseph distressed? I mean, his brothers, you understand, first of all, were thinking about killing him, threw him in a pit. Then they sold him into servitude. While he was in captivity, now the Egyptian overlord that he had, you understand, his wife wanted to sleep with him. Joseph said, no, I'm not going to commit adultery. The woman lies on him and he gets imprisoned. You understand? But he kept his faith. You understand? And the reason being as to why he's bringing this up is because these are tumultuous times. You understand? Times of distress. And he needs to encourage his sons. You understand? Needs to encourage all of their brothers. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that this fight continues on. Read on.
Phinehas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood.
You understand? And y'all can go read about Phinehas when a brother was sleeping with a heathen woman. He went through and stabbed both of them, you understand, in the tent while they were in the middle of the act with a javelin. Read on.
Jesus, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel.
You understand? Read on.
Caleb, for
now once again, Jesus is Joshua. All right, Joshua is made a judge in Israel because who took over after Moses? You understand? So don't get confused with when you see that word. A lot of our people had the same name. Read on.
Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage of the land.
Good.
David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom.
So now he's starting to turn around and give the attributes. You understand? Mercy, zealousness, faith. He's trying to let them know what they need to continue on and to succeed. Good.
Elias, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven.
You understand? Now Elias is the Greek transliteration for Elijah. Good.
Ananias, Azarias, and Misael, by believing, were saved out of the flame.
You understand that? Those are the Greek transliteration of them brothers' Hebrew names. That's Meshach, you understand, Shadrach, and Abednego. Read on.
Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions.
You understand? Good.
And thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
And now you gotta remember, like, a lot of these were detriments. You know what I'm saying? Abraham's faith, he was about to kill his son. You know what I'm saying? Like Daniel was about to get fed to lions. The other brothers was getting ready to be thrown in an oven. I'm gonna use that. Like, why was there no Shadrach? You understand? Hold on one second. Hey, I'm in the middle of teaching class. I could be pulling a few. It's a crazy day. All right. I'm gonna use that when I talk about that Holocaust. You understand? There wasn't no Shadrach, Abednego, and Meshach. You understand? During Poland, 1942. Read on.
Fear not then the words of a sinful man.
Make sure you take this down or cross the line. You understand? I ain't getting no strike. I know. I know. I'm wilding right now. Salakia. I'm acting like we on the Cross the Line website right now. Like we got freedom of speech here. They gonna be mad. Read on.
For his glory shall be dung and worms.
His glory shall be what?
Dung and worms.
Good. Meaning, you understand, you're going to be there. You're going to be fertilizer. You understand? You're going to go right back into the dust and be worm child. Good.
Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he has returned into his dust, and his thought is come to nothing.
Good.
Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant and show yourselves men in the behalf of
show
the
yourselves
Lord.
What?
Men.
Show yourselves what?
Men.
That's why we say we raise men.
Right.
You understand? We have to show ourselves men. Go ahead.
In the behalf of the law.
You understand? In behalf of the law. Can't compromise this law, man. You can't compromise what was given to us. Read on.
For by it shall ye obtain glory.
Shall we obtain what?
Glory.
Let me tell you something, man. I ain't really have no glory till I came into UPK. Like when I really sit down and think about it, was no real glory. Like everything, you only get honor and glory when you serve another nation. Like when I went and played basketball and got trophies, you understand, it was for some coach that was a devil. You know what I'm saying? Like he got the glory. You know what I'm saying? Like you go see brothers, they go and join the military. You know what I'm saying? They get honor and glory in that moment. But for what? To keep building this empire? Like that's not real glory. That's not real honor when it's not for us. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's not a win for our real team. You know what I'm saying? But you serve the Lord, you're bringing everything back home. And everything that's back home is under the Most High. Read on.
And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you. And as for Judas Maccabeus, he hath been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people.
You understand? So this is their camp leader now. This is their captain. You understand? This is who's going to be in charge of war. You understand? In charge of strategy. Good.
Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people.
Go ahead.
Recompense fully the heathen, and take heed to the commandments of the law.
Because you ever noticed that from the very beginning of this, all this was about the law. And if we kept our law, we would never compromise to the heathen. We would never give our strength and our power over to them. Read on.
So he blessed them and was gathered to his fathers. And he died in the 146th year, and his sons buried him in the sepulchres of his fathers at Modan, and all Israel made great lamentation for him.
Now you see how all Israel made great lamentation for them, and that we're still reading about them all these years later. You see the wicked men's names mentioned. Do we know their name? The men that wouldn't fight on the Sabbath. We know their name? Absolutely not. These brothers kept the law and got glory. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta remember, like the names of the men that was on post with Ezra were written down in the book of Ezra, and their names are going to echo in eternity. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna tell you something, right? Outside of like being on a chariot, I have like one vain goal. When the new record is written, like when the prophets and the scribes sit down with Yahushua and they orate what they gonna teach from this captivity, I just want my name mentioned. Like they just got to say, and Chaataza was there. That's it. That's all you need. And for the rest of eternity, they gonna know Chaataza was there. You know what I'm saying? They all they got to do, you know what I'm saying, was and Chaataza, you know, you know what I'm saying? Chaataza stood post. And now anytime somebody slouch, they're gonna be like, hey man, stand like Chaataza, man. Or it's all they gotta say. You understand? I was about to say Ayash. I was about one more time. Aishaya Allah. You understand? All they gotta do is just say, you understand? And Aishaya Allah watched. You know what I'm saying? And everybody in the world gonna want to hold Shamal like you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how powerful these records are. Listen, the scriptures ain't even say, you know what I'm saying, nothing about Enoch writing the book, and they trying to make religions around him. All it said was, and Enoch was, and he was translated. Now he got fiction literature and a whole bunch of crazy things, movies, books, The Watchers, ancient legends, just because his name was mentioned in one or two verses. That's how powerful this record is. And now these brothers, because they were not sellouts, because they did not compromise, because they did not go into the way of the heathen, now their name gets to echo into eternity. That gives me chills, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how powerful the scriptures are. That's the type of stuff that I talk to Captain Zakar about. I don't know what y'all talk about. You know what I'm saying? But when me and Captain Zakar, we used to link up, and me and him used to be in his kitchen, and it's like a vortex would open up, and we would be having the craziest discussions ever about these records. And this is some of the stuff we would be talking about. We'd be talking about like just what do you think is gonna say? You know what I'm saying? And like, we'd be a little vain, especially when we were younger. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, I don't even want a book, man. I just want a verse. You know what I'm saying? Like, just drop my name in there one time for the one time. You know what I'm saying? And like, like, those are the type of talks that we would have all the time. Or we question about the scriptures. Like, what do you think about this? I don't know. What do you think about this? Let's ask the general. And then we come to class, you know what I'm saying? Depending on whose question it was, we'd be the one to ask. And then we would wait for the general, and the general would drop something that would blow our minds. And then right after that, me and him would just stop and just look at each other, have an unspoken conversation. You know what I'm saying? In that one moment, that one little glance of us making eye contact, and then turn right back into class. Good.
So I just have a question on Clubhouse. Are you trying to type the questions in chat?
So you type it in right there.
Right here.
And click where it says type your questions. Click it. Now hit enter. Boom. If y'all got any questions on the topic, you could go ahead and type them in. Let's go to Ezra, the 4th chapter. I think that's pretty self-explanatory where we're at. I'll start at verse 1. Listen, we're going to do some reading. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna do some reading today. We're gonna do some reading today. We're gonna do some reading every week. I'm gonna run down some lessons for you.
Okay. Ezra chapter 4 and verse 1. Now, when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin.
Now the what?
The adversaries.
You understand? We have adversaries. We have enemies. And you know what them enemies are? The other nations. That's who it's talking about right here. It's talking about our adversaries of another race. Good.
Heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Lord God of Israel. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers. And
so now, hold on, slow down. Now, before I was trying to read 2 chapters. You know what I'm saying? So we were reading a little faster. Read verse 2 again, but let's slow it down.
Then they came to Zerubbabel.
Now Zerubbabel was, you understand, the chief in this captivity. You understand? This is like, you understand, the head of Israel. We didn't have a king at this point because our nation was destroyed. But this was the man in charge. Once again, just like Mattathias was the man in charge. And just like Commanding General Yohana today, whether y'all like it or not, is in charge until Yahweh Shah returns.
Right.
Read on.
And to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, let us build with you.
So now the heathens come, you understand, when they hear us rebuilding the temple. Now earlier, what did I say is the temple? We are. And what are we doing in this body?
Destroying the body.
What do you?
What you mean?
On topic to what I'm saying right now.
We try to bring the body together. We try to stay together.
We're trying to rebuild the temple. You're the temple. You're the temple. What did the men who taught you do?
To build the temple.
You understand? They rebuilt you because you were such and such. I don't even remember what your slave name was, because Chaataza, you understand, is built today. I'm messing with you. I was about to say it. You understand? Aishaya Allah was built today. You understand? And that's what we do. And we keep building and you understand? We keep adding onto and pouring down into the men that we're raising up as we all put our brick in. You understand? So now, while we try build, what do the heathen try to do?
Convince us.
You mean this little African boy can't come to the cookout? We can't build with you. We can't break bread with these other nations. Why not? We serve your God. You understand? We believe. I believe in the Bible. That's what they say, right? Read on.
For we seek your God as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Assur, which brought us up hither.
Man, they gonna say we've been doing this forever. You understand? We've been sacrificing forever. But the truth is, they're really trying to infiltrate and destroy. That's the truth. Read on.
Verse 3. But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us.
Ye have what?
Ye have nothing to do with us.
What'd he say to the heathen?
Ye have nothing to do with us.
What's his name?
Salakia. Zerubbabel.
Zerubbabel. Why do you know his name?
Because he rejected the heathen.
You understand? That's why you know his name. Because he wasn't one of the wicked in Israel who joined us onto another nation. You understand? He was a strong leader in Israel. You understand? Who stood up in adversity and said, ye have nothing to do with us. They have nothing to do with us. How? Read on.
To build an house unto our God.
Ain't no other nation gonna come in here to rebuild the children of Israel with us. That's not happening. Read on.
But we ourselves together.
But we what?
We ourselves together.
Go ahead.
Will build unto the Lord, God of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, hath commanded us.
You understand now? Why did it say that as King Cyrus had? Because we were in captivity. So we got permission to go back and build the temple. You know what I'm saying? And also, just so y'all know, I'm going to just throw this in there sidebar. Give me Ezra 7 and 24.
Ezra chapter 7 and verse 24.
Yep.
Also, we certify you that touching any of the priests and Levites, singers, porters, Nethinims, or ministers of this house of God, it shall not be lawful to impose toll, tribute, or custom upon them.
So now, who is that talking about right there as far as who was mentioned? Everyone who works in the temple. The priest and all those who serve the priest. What is toll, tribute, and custom?
Tax?
Taxes. Who made that decree that you cannot tax the priest?
The king in captivity?
Yes. That's a 501c3. Don't ever come for us. Ever in life. I will show you tax exempt status from the government of your enemy as you rebuild the temple of the Lord in the Bible. Ezra had a 501c3. Don't ever fix your lips to speak against Commander General Yohanan and Isupk. Gonna learn the hard way. When I found that scripture, I said, Barakatha Yahweh Yahushua, boy. Real talk. All right, so moral of today's lesson has been, do not join the heathen. If you are trying to join us to the heathen, you are a traitor and your name will never be remembered. You understand? And if you are zealous of the law and a true man of God, you understand, the Lord will even give you glory. All right, so with that, any questions on or off topic? I'll open up questions, you understand, off topic. Y'all could go ahead and type them in. Also, if y'all are on Clubhouse, y'all can go ahead and raise your hand if you want to verbalize it. I'll show you how to do that too. Or you could go ahead and type it in the chat. I'll give y'all a second before we move on. Any questions in the room? Good.
So it's pretty much it sounds like Salakia, so if I may. So you was showing us that it was always, you know what I'm saying, brothers will hold the line. It was always, you know what I'm saying, showing that in spite of, you know what I'm saying, somebody's coming and you know what I'm saying, coming and destroying everything and having so much might, you know what I'm saying, still hold the line. And we could, you know what I'm saying, overpower, you know what I'm saying, the oppressor. Keep the faith in the Most High God and the Lord's statutes and commandments in the nation. And it's always about coming together. That's what you're saying, if I'm making it
as long as we serve the Lord, absolutely.
Come.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what you find inside the Bible. The Bible ain't magic. And coming in the truth is not like a lucky rabbit's foot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't come in the truth and stop suffering. We just start suffering together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't come in like think about, I think I was just saying this last night. Think about every single prophet inside the Bible. They all suffered some kind of like emotional trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like, David was being hunted by the king of Israel. That's like Joe Biden right now putting a hit on you. Where are you going to go? You get what I'm saying? Like you think you just going in public? You think you just going to Longhorn Steakhouse and, you know what I'm saying, ordering you a nice New York strip and getting the damn those delicious, you know what I'm saying, what are them things called? Brussels sprouts that they do that taste like candy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ordering a beer and just chilling. I'm hungry as hell. Y'all tell, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, you think that's just happening? No, it's not happening, man. You underground. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have to hide in a damn ditch. And that's what David did. You take a look at Elijah when it talked about that Elijah was called up from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like, Elijah was being hunted by I almost called what do you call it? What was that broad's name? Jezebel. Lord telling him, you know what I'm saying, go hide in the woods. You'll be all right. Birds are gonna feed you. What? What? You get what I'm saying? Ezekiel, the Lord killed his rib. And he and for all you monogamous sisters, he only had one. But that woman was distracting him from doing the work of the Lord. So the Lord removed his distraction. I think she died of aneurysm or something like that. You know what I'm saying? The Lord just took her. You know what I'm saying? And then the Lord said, and don't you shed a tear. Like, this is not like everybody loves Yahushua till it hurts. That's the facts. You understand? But the difference is all of us bear each other's burdens. And that's why when the scripture says, but the kingdom of heaven is within you, we make it better for each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we come around each other. I see your hand. I'm gonna come back to you in a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all come and deal with each other. And we forget about oppression. You know what I'm saying? Like, during the whole time of the Passover, I forget about everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like nothing else exists in the world except what we got going on inside that moment. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's supposed to be. You had your hand up?
Oh, we have a question on Ecclesiasticus. Oh, we got a question. Oh, Slack. We have a question by priest and officer Karab.
Rakaria.
Rakaya. He said, the question is in Ecclesiasticus, chapter 29, verse 1. He that is in merciful will lead unto his neighbor, and he that strengtheneth his hand keepeth the commandment.
So what hand are you strengthening?
That's the question. That's the question.
Oh, that's his question on top of that.
That's
Okay, well that's my question to y'all.
Salakia, strengthening his hand, meaning build himself up.
You understand? Like you ever hear the phrase "pick your man's up"? You understand? He lent onto his brother. So what did he do? He strengthened his brother's hand, and in doing so, he's keeping the commandment. What commandment is he keeping?
To love your brother. You
understand? He's loving his brother. So strengthen your hand in this is strengthening your brother. You know what I'm saying? He's lending on to his brother. His brother waxen poor or falleth in decay. What do? You redeem him, though he be a stranger. All right.
Check on. See if they have anything.
Most High in Christ.
Okay.
So let me see. Since I started attending class, learning and following the laws of God, my life turned upside down. I'm losing friends, family, etc., and everyone thinks I'm crazy. Well, to the sister Dalsa, welcome to the truth. That's how I know you in here. You know what I'm saying? Like what you talking about right now is biblical precept. Y'all better know this. No, I mean that's not what I'm looking for.
Scripture about losing your life.
Now that's right though. You right though. If you could find it, find it. But that wasn't the first one that popped in my head because she started talking about family and losing everyone around her. What you got?
Matthew 10:39.
That's really what I wanted. I want you to start at 34. Let's get a couple of precepts on that.
Matthew 10 and verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
Yahushua ain't come to send peace on earth. He came to do what?
I came not to send peace, but a sword.
But a what?
But a sword.
Lord, you understand? Yahushua came to send a sword, which a sword is used for conflict, for fighting, for battles, for adversity. That's why when you come into the truth, you understand, you now face adversity. Who is this adversity to? Who are we constantly battling? Read on.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
He has come to set what?
A man at variance.
Variance is at odds. And you are going to be at odds with your father. Who else?
And the daughter against her mother.
You understand? A daughter's going to be against the mother. Go ahead.
And the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Listen, it doesn't matter if you're married. Everybody, you understand, that's still in the world, you're going to be at odds with. Why? Because they love the world. They're still in the world. You're supposed to be coming out the world. Read on.
And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
And a man's foes, a man's enemies shall be they of your own household. And that's painful. You understand? That is extremely painful. And this isn't only directed to the sister, but this is also directed to any brother or sister that goes through this. Do you have to be crucified? Do you got to be whipped for 3 days? You got to drag your own method of execution to the hill they're going to kill you on? You understand? You about to be put to death tomorrow in one of the most painful ways ever? I ain't think so. I think that what we go through in comparison to Yahushua is very little. Read on.
Verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more
He that loveth father or mother more than what?
More than me.
More than the Lord. Go ahead.
Is not worthy of me.
You're not worthy to be called Christ's disciple. If we can't find the strength You understand? To battle our family that's in the world. You understand? How then could we be worthy of the sacrifice that Yahweh Shah made? Read on.
And he that loveth son or daughter more than me
Son or daughter, go ahead.
is not worthy of me.
You're not worthy, you understand, of the sacrifice that Yahweh Shah made. And that's something that we all have to realize, right? Like it's something that we all have to, you understand, really bury inside of ourselves, is that Yahweh Shah said, who's my mother, who's my brother, for a reason. You understand? And when you're young in the truth, you have not let go of the world yet. It's either Matthews 15 and 18 or Matthews 18 and 15. Give me Matthews 15 and 18. Read that for me. But if not, go to 18 and 15. I always reverse it. But the point being is, the world will let go of you before you let go of the world. And it's very painful when you first come in, because you're not fully acclimated to the UPK. When this is what ends up happening. Blood is thicker than water, but the UPK is thicker than blood.
Right.
Those are the facts. What you're going to realize is that your real family is in here. You understand? Not the family that caused you trauma, that robs from you, that lies to you, that ostracizes you, that says they wish you were still getting high instead of cleaning your life up. Not that family. The family that actually wants the best for you. Right. And that's the family that the Lord put together. Read what you got.
18 and 15 is go to him between thee and him alone.
No, give me 15 and 18.
Matthew 15 and verse 18. But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man.
Am I tripping right now? I got me off my game. Hold on. Nope. Wait. I was close.
Okay.
15 and 19.
Okay.
You see, I knew I wasn't tripping.
Matthew 15 and verse 19. For out of the heart.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I am tripping. John 15 and 19. I went to the wrong book. I had the numbers right. It's been a minute. Getting a little, you know what I'm saying, a little dust off.
John 15 and verse 19. If ye were of the world.
Start at 18.
If the world hate you.
Boom. See? I was right the first time. Wrong book, right numbers. We gonna get it together.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But this is especially, you understand, for the two sisters that said that they're going through the same things right now, right? And this is something that everybody goes through. Read that again.
If the world hate you.
If the world hates you, you're experiencing hate from the world right now, and that comes from those we're at odds with, those we're at variance with. That comes from your mother and father and cousin and aunties and everybody that you love. Read on.
Ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
The scripture says that the world hated Christ before it hated you. This is extremely important. Read on.
If ye were of the world would love his own.
The world loves you when you still in the cipher passing the blunt around.
Right.
You understand? It loves you when you at Thanksgiving dinner. Loves you when you sacrificing onto idols. You understand? Loves you because you're one of its own. Spiritually, you two are aligned. Go ahead.
But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world.
Yahweh Shah chose you out of the world. I need y'all to really feel that for a minute. You could still be blind with everybody else. If you're receiving this knowledge and understanding it, the Lord's having mercy on you. He's pulling you out of the world. You have an opportunity of a lifetime. It's extremely humbling to know that of all these people, all the Israelites on the world, the Lord decided to wake you up for the truth. Read on.
Therefore, the world hateth you.
So now the world hates you. Read on.
Remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord.
So let me ask you something. And this is I want everybody to answer this, not just the sisters, right? Are any of you better than Yahweh Shah?
Nah, sir.
You're not. I sure as hell am not. Let me see it in the chat. I want everybody that could type answer right now. Any of you better than Yahushua? La. No, hell no. La. Nope. So if none of us are better than Yahushua, then none of us better ever think that we don't deserve to be hated as well if he was hated. We ain't greater than him. We don't get no special treatment. He should have got the special treatment. You understand? But instead, he was put to death for us. So as a result, we better realize that this is a part of his work, a part of his journey, and we better get deeply rooted inside of here. You understand? We better get deeply rooted and committed to serving the Lord. And on a long enough timeline, let me tell you what'll happen. Get me when thy ways please the Lord, even thy enemies shall be at peace with you. You understand? On a long enough timeline, this is what's going to happen, right? On a long enough timeline, your family is going to see you as serious about this. Is going to see that it's not a phase. Everyone around you is going to be suffering and destroyed while you are thriving. And they're going to look at you if you are actually a shining example in this truth, and they're going to say, yo, what is it that you're really into? And the reason being is because of this scripture right here. Read it for me.
Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 7.
Proverbs 16 and 7. Go ahead.
When a man's ways please the Lord.
When your ways please the Lord. Go ahead.
He maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him.
Even your enemies could be at peace with you. Now, those same enemies that were inside of your household, you understand? Once you get through the test, you understand? Once you pass the test of not folding, once you actually make it through that persecution, you're going to be able to, you understand, get them back. Or maybe you lose them forever, and if so, good riddance. You understand? Because this is what I know. I know that, give me Luke 14 and 26, Baba Kasha. I know that we have to put the Lord before everything. And we have to be strong enough to do that. And that comes with brotherhood. That comes, you understand, with us making sure that we never turn this place into anything that resembles the world. Read on.
Luke 14 and verse 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father.
Hold on. If any man come to me and what?
And hate not his father.
Go ahead.
And mother.
Go ahead.
And wife.
Hold on. Your father, your mother, your wife. Go ahead.
And children.
Go ahead.
And brethren.
Uh-huh.
And sisters.
Whoa.
Yea. And his own life also.
And his own life also. Go ahead.
He cannot be my disciple.
So now give me an example in the room. What's one way that you hate your father?
By not being like him if he was drunk.
That's true. Give me something more related to, you understand, serving the Lord.
By not celebrating Christmas.
Not celebrating Christmas. You're not getting them a gift now. What's a way you hate your mother?
Don't celebrate her birthday.
You don't celebrate her birthday. You understand? What's the way you hate your kids? Not celebrating their birthdays. Meaning, you love everything less, even your own life, than the Lord. 27.
Verse 27. And whosoever doth not bear his cross.
Bear his what?
Cross.
His what?
Cross.
Now, Yahweh's cross was literal. Our cross is our burden. That's what we bear. We bear losing family and friends. You understand? For the gospel's sake. That's what the scripture says. For the truth. You understand? For labor in the Most High. Read on.
and come after me cannot be my disciple.
You cannot be his disciple. You can't say you serve Christ and you put everybody else before the truth. Doesn't work like that. Read on.
For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether ye have sufficient to finish it?
You understand? Meaning, anything that you do, you have to pay a cost. And not only pay a cost, you understand, but you have to count the cost before you go to war. You understand? And this is what all of you have to realize, is that in here, you're going to be tried. In here, you understand, you're going to have attacks. In here, there is going to be spiritual warfare made against you. You have to be prepared for the battle. You have to be prepared for the battle, and you have to turn around and now say, what is it going to cost me? Are you ready? You understand, to pay that? Because Yahushua paid his. We all owe. Every single one of us is in debt. You understand? Give me 1 Peter 4:12. Baba Kashah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in here is in debt with the Lord. And Yahushua gave us perfection. The Lord gave us perfection in Yahushua. So that means being perfect is the bare minimum for us. You know what I'm saying? So our family and all the affairs of the world, that has to be it has to be nothing to us. It has to be of no concern. Because if they love the Lord, where would they be? They'd be right here. They'd be right here with us. But the Lord called you. Don't ever take it for granted. Read what you got.
1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also.
Read it from the top.
Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you.
You understand? Think it not strange, the fiery trial which is to try you. That's what you're going through right now. You're going through a fiery trial. You know what I'm saying? And it's not strange that you're having so much turmoil, conflict, and you're at variance with all your people. You know what I'm saying? It's not strange that you got evicted, that you lost your job all in the same day. All of that is to test you to see if you're worthy enough, you understand, to serve the Lord. If you're worthy enough to sit inside one of these chairs. Think it not strange. The scriptures is showing you, 1, you got to hate everybody, meaning love less than the Lord. 2, be prepared, you understand, to start beefing with your people. And that don't mean, like, when I say beefing with your people, I don't mean you have to be belligerent. But what I mean is the betrayals, them turning on you, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? You're in a cult. You know what I'm saying? All the hurtful things they try to say to you is to see if you'll fold or if you're going to rise to the occasion in here. Read on.
As though some strange thing happened unto you, but rejoice, inasmuch.
We have a question
We're still reading the scripture out. Read it again.
Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you.
Go ahead.
As though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's suffering.
You rejoice, though, inasmuch as you are partakers of Christ's suffering. Why? We're supposed to take it cheerfully. Christ suffered too. And what we're suffering for, you understand, is for his sacrifice, is for his labor. And his labor is to rebuild our kingdom. You understand? Let me come back to the chat. No, other chat. So now this is what I would say, right? First of all, you could remove him. You know what I'm saying? But to what the sister's saying, how do you prepare to, first of all, you may not lose them, or you may lose them for a time. You understand? But the best thing to do is, number one, I would say call for counsel. Whenever you feel the attack, whenever it feels, you know what I'm saying, too much to bear, call your camp leader for counsel. Like counsel is instruction, you understand, that is going to save your life. Counsel, you understand, is going to be a relief to your spirit. Counsel is going to be what keeps you solid when you don't have an answer. You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, man, call for counsel. Because if not, what you're going to do is you're going to really hurt yourself. Because now you still want to learn the hard way. There's not a stitch of counsel that I didn't follow that didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like anything I've ever heard, you understand, from General Mahayman, General Hazayan, you understand? I mean, any single one of these brothers, you know what I'm saying, down to Captain Nazaryak, anything they ever told me worked out 100%. No matter how crazy it sounded, no matter how wild it was, no matter how unbelievable, when I followed it, the Lord was with me. So what you want to do is you want to stay in class. You know what I'm saying? You want to lock in. You want to be around as much as possible. You want to be at every cookout. You want to be at every event. You want to really make this your home. You understand? Because what happens is that you don't want to like you're supposed to lose your old life. But what good is losing your old life if you're not gaining your new? And we all gain our new life in here through our labor. You know what I'm saying? Like even a brother gets his gifts at camp. That's where we find out if you're good at Shema. Now we know you excellent at security. You know what I'm saying? That's where we know if you're a good reader, if you're a good speaker, if you're a good leader, whatever the case may be, that's where your gifts come out at. Well, it's the same thing with a sister. You know what I'm saying? Like the sister, you got to come around for someone to actually know you, to know what your gifts are, what your abilities are. For us to actually be together as a family, we have to actually be around each other. That's why I hate the word, but that's why we congregate. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole point and the whole purpose of why we're supposed to come together as a people. Gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. We have to be around each other. And when we are around each other, we got to show each other love because we are each other's family. You know what I'm saying? I'm closer with y'all than my biological brothers. I see y'all more than my biological brothers. I'm the oldest of 5. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you when the last time I talked to Hiram Jr. Can't even tell you. Got to be 3 years. I talked to Kev. Shit. Slakia. Once a year. I got to call him back, actually. Well, when I say I got to call him back, I got to actually call him because it's not like he called me and I'm returning the call, but I'll be the adult here. You know what I'm saying? But as another one of my baby brothers. But he's not in here with me. Who's my mother? Who's my brother? Y'all are. My love, my energy. I prefer everyone in here over anybody in the world. All right. So what you want to do, sis, is you want to call for counsel. You want to keep in touch with your camp leader. You want to be locked in. All right. We got about 10 minutes left. Let's see if we can get maybe one more question in. Scroll up here. There's a question here? Okay.
Sir. I have a question regarding Philippians 2:6.
Let's get it.
Okay. Philippians chapter 2, verse 6. who being in the form of God, through it is not robbery to be equal to God, equal with God, Salakia.
Okay, so being in the form, first of all, what does God mean, or what does God translate to?
Authority or power.
Or power. Now, Yahushua was in the form of authority and power, correct?
Khan.
And as a result, he thought it not robbery to be equal with authority or power. What was Yahushua able to do? Hold up. He raised his hand.
Various miracles and
You right? Like what? Name something.
healing the sick, raising the dead.
Healing the sick, raising the dead. He had the ability. Did he use it? Because he thought it not robbery to utilize that power. That's what it's talking about. Yahushua was given power and he used it. All right. Scroll back up. Let me see if I missed anything else. Let me see what the brother said. Hold on. Scroll down. Stop. So, Salakia, if I may, is it Tawab to say what you're breaking down, that there is no revolution for us, Israel, without turning back to the Most High God of Israel? Now, if we don't turn back to the Lord, there is no revolution. There is no change. There is no nation. And that's what he's waiting on right now. Like, the reason why we're still in captivity is because enough of us haven't turned back. You understand? But once that number is sealed, he sends his son, Yahushua. You understand? Let's see if there's any other questions.
Sister said, Salaki, sir, the sister say, the water. She said, thank you.
Oh, I am the bosses.
All right, let's go to Clubhouse.
Let's check Clubhouse real quick. Is there anything else? You could scroll up.
You only do this
No, other side.
Let's scroll.
Click it and then scroll up with the ball on the mouse.
Talking about,
Just click the chat.
Oh.
Anywhere.
oh, anywhere else.
And now scroll up with the
Oh,
roller.
come.
You see the roller in the center of the mouse?
Come.
Roll it.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
That's it.
All right. So here's what I'm going to tell y'all before we go ahead and end the class. One, everybody should take good notes. You understand? Two, y'all should have a physical Bible. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, y'all have a physical Bible. Three, when I was coming up, we took notes. We took physical notes. We wrote down every precept with a pen and a paper, and we built our precept book. Also, we came to class with Babylon to Timbuktu, Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary until I upgraded to the larger one, and would keep some of those books with us, you understand, for those purposes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to treat this like a class. You know what I'm saying? You have to take good notes. You know what I'm saying? So that this way y'all can make sure that this sinks in. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just got some miraculous memory. But even the scripture says, write everything down. So remember, everything is spiritual, and take good notes. And when I say everything is spiritual, and this especially goes towards what the sister was saying, you know what I'm saying? Your family's going to want to pick fights with you. And what you got to do is you got to make sure that you notice that before you get carnal. You got to make sure you realize that that's a demon inside of your folks. That's a demon inside of your people. You know what I'm saying? And a demon's job is to hurt you, is to wound you, is to kill you. That's the entire point. A demon's job is trying to kill you. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to get you to go back in the world and get high. You understand? It's trying to get you to go back in the world and sell drugs. It's trying to get you either dead or in jail. So for every brother or sister, you understand, you need to make sure that you look at things from a non-carnal aspect and realize that when that turmoil comes, this is something that's trying to distract you, you understand, from achieving your goals in here. All right? So with that, let's pass the class over to Priest and Officer Chaataza.
Isupk security announcement. We are the Isupk, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8. Chapter 3, verse 8 and 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation, the Feast of First Fruit. Let's see here. The Opium and the Aquapium to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarves. And with that, I'm going to give one courtesy salute. May the Israel Majah, which means stand. May the Israel Majah Shabbat, Amajah, Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabrak Thumb.
That's the top. Class dismissed.